Hello, Mary. It's Jim Polito again. I just received your your data file last night, and I opened it up this morning. So it's looking good. From what I can tell, you have your online home study and seminar data in here with your subjects. I'm assuming that number one is your first subject, and two is your second subject, and so on and so forth. So I'm assuming that. So you have your variables, gender, age, and marital status. So what we're going to do, what I'm assuming you want, is that we're going to run either an ANOVA or a MANOVA to compare the means between these groups. So in an ANOVA, your independent variable has to be ordinal or nominal. So like gender, it's either 1 or 2, that's nominal. And then marital status, you can put it in as 1, 2, and I thought it was 3. Yeah, 3, and that's going to be ordinal. So those two meet those criteria. Age, the way it is right there, does not, because it's considered either scale or it's continuous. But it's simple to convert it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. If we were going to be doing a simple ANOVA, we would take one variable as an independent variable and compare it to your 3 independent variables. So just one at a time. Gender compared to the 3, and then do another ANOVA for marital status for all 3. So a MANOVA allows you to use more than one independent variable as long as they're all ordinal or nominal, and compare them to 3. So if all the conditions are set, we ought to be able to use all 3 of these variables compared to all 3 of these variables in the MANOVA. So that'll be a step that we'll take a little bit later. The first thing that we have to do now is to convert these data to ordinal, so that it's ready to go for a ANOVA. All right, so what we're going to do here is go to transform, recode into different variables. Okay, once we get that, then we look at age. Now, this little ruler here reminds us that that variable is continuous or scale. And I say scale because SPSS, instead of using the word continuous, it says scale. So scale is continuous. Okay, so we're going to rename it. Name is the nickname by which you're going to recognize it. Label is how it's going to appear on your SPSS output. So let me put down ages for that. And then for my purposes, I can put down ages C for coding or categories. So again, this is going to be, for your purposes, it's going to appear as a new variable, okay? And then when you do the test, the MANOVA, it'll show, this will become up the variable ages. So you can use your own wordage here, okay? So go to old and new. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to assign a 1, 2, and 3 to the ranges. Now, you sent me the ranges of ages, and I forgot what they were, so I'll give you just an example, and then you put in the range that you determined before. So for ages, I think the lowest one here was 24. And okay, so let's go to here. We're going to start off with that. We're going to go lowest through, and this is going to be the first of the 3 categories. So the first one, let's say I'm going to call it young. Okay, so the young is going to be 0 to 24. So not necessarily 0, so scratch that. The lowest of your numbers up to 24 will be 1. Okay, that's going to be the first one. So the second one, we're going to go over here for the range. That's going to be from 25, because we left off at 24, through, and I'm just making this up, 35. I believe you sent me either in a text or email what range for ages you set up. So, use those numbers, certainly not mine. Okay, so that one's going to be a value of 2. All right, we're going to add that. So 1 is the lowest through 24. Number 2 will be 25 through 35. And then the last one, we're going to go from 36 to the highest. Okay, so there we have all three. So, and that one's going to be called 3. We're going to add it. Okay, we're going to hit continue. And did I forget something? Oh, you have to hit change. I'm sorry, you have to hit change. And then go. So if you notice here, I'm back to your data file, and you still have your ages here, and I changed it to ages C. So again, this is the one that says name when I changed it. The other one that says label is the one that's going to appear on your output. So this is just my note, okay, for me. You're going to do it on your own. These variables are going to be different. So if you go, it lines up by the subject. So this subject at the age of 34 is a 2. Okay. And do we have a 1? Why don't we have a 1? Oh, we do have a 1. So here's at age of 24 is a 1. This guy. Subject number 63. That's the gender, that's the age, and for the purposes of ANOVA, he will be a 1, or she will be a 1. Okay, good. So, next step, go to variable view. Now you have another one of these guys right there, another variable. Okay. Go to missing value. Now, the reason we're going to go here is because right now the computer, the SPSS says, okay, we have a category of 1, 2, and 3. So you want to name 1, 2, and 3. So that on the output, it doesn't say 1, it says young. Or and 2, instead of 2, you can say, middle. Or the number 3, you can say oldest, or just high, whatever nomenclature you want to attach to it. So here, on value 1, I'm going to call it young. You please call it something else. I'm going to be very un-PC here. 2, I'm just going to put it in the middle. Okay, and then 3, I'm going to put down old. Yeah, and I'm sure that's going to offend half the world by putting it this way, but you get the idea. So when you put in your when you run your MANOVA, or ANOVA, whichever one you want, the output is going to be called young, middle, and old, or whatever you want to put in there, something a little bit more PC. I think you decided that it was going to be low, medium, and high in terms of age, but again, you can put in whatever you want. So hit OK, and that gets kind of hidden in here. So that's just for the purpose of running your analysis. So when we finish that, then we're ready to run a MANOVA. And then once we run the MANOVA, we'll decide what steps we want to take after that, because there's some other variables that you wanted to compare outside of running a ANOVA or a MANOVA. So your homework now is to follow this video. Do exactly what I did, only with the real numbers that you know, and the labels that you want, not young, medium, and old, middle, and old, and send me that data. Okay, that data file. I did receive all 3 of your data files, and I had no problem opening it up. Okay, so you saved it correctly. All right, so let me end it here, and you have some homework to do, and then we'll go from there. You've done all the heavy lifting, so now it's going forward. It's just a matter of following my videos, doing exactly what I ask you to do, and then I'll walk you through the MANOVA, and I'll walk you through the interpretation of the MANOVA, and then we'll see what other analysis we can do with the data that you already collected. So you've done all the heavy lifting. I think the hardest one was manually putting in the data, and then of course getting SPSS was a challenge. So I think it's going to be downhill from now. Okay, we just have to be careful in running the analysis, and careful in making sure the other conditions are met, and then taking care of interpreting the results. Okay.